professionals or big names in this particular industry, the fitness industry or whatever. And my advice would be stay away from most of those routines because a lot of those people do have, again, the ability to recover from a workout. We've been talking about things that are under our control right now: rest and frequency and number of sets, volume. Those things you can control and kind of try to determine in food what's best for you. But there is a DNA aspect to it as well, a genetic component to recovery, that some people are just better equipped to recover from stress put on their body from weight training session than somebody else. Just inherently, just in their genetic makeup. It's just like somebody, everybody's got in their DNA how tall they're going to be. They've got different heights of people.
Look, I'm never going to be a marathon runner. We can just say that right here.
Well, maybe, but you're probably not going to be the best one in the world. And so basically some of these guys, the names you mentioned, they're just a lot better at recovering from working out. And that's not the norm.
Right.
There may be somebody out here listening that they fit into that category, but I'd say, I don't know, if we polled 1,000 people and we could take their DNA, some test, or multiple tests, I'm sure, to determine what's your recovery ability, maybe 1 out of 1,000 matches up with one of these guys you mentioned.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, most of us are going to be in the middle. You're going to have, again, it's just like height. You're going to have some people that are 7 feet tall, probably less than 1% of the population, and you're going to have some people that are 4 feet tall, probably less than 1% of the population. The vast majority of people are 5.5 feet tall or whatever, right? It's no different in recovery. You're going to have the Ronnie Colemans of the world on one end, and then you're going to have that guy who takes a month to recover from a set of leg extensions.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you're probably not either one.
Right.
You're in the middle, and in the middle means working a body part about once every week to 10 days for most of us.
For most of us. Now, what do you think is the most important aspect in terms of that? And this could be genetically or things that we can control, but would that be the application or the rest? And by application, I mean providing the stimuli.
But you have to have both. If your application, if you're saying that is, if I'm hearing you right, the stress you're putting on the muscle to stimulate it, to tell it, hey, you need to get bigger and stronger because of an outside stress.
Right. Or in terms of genetics, the ability to put on lean tissue.
Okay. Then you have to have that though accomplished before your muscle will grow bigger.
Sure.
I mean, you have to have that, whatever that threshold is, you have to reach it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. I didn't think about that before I asked the question. So I guess that's physics. Newton's law: a body at rest stays in rest. So if you do nothing but rest, you don't make any gains.
You're not going to make much progress. But the problem is, again, it's an enthusiasm thing.
Right.
People, you have to have enthusiasm usually to change your body, whether you want to lose a few pounds or enter a bikini show, or it doesn't matter. You've got to have some form of motivation to go into the gym and to look at your diet and these kind of things, right?
Sure.
Well, when you're overly motivated, though, people tend to do, like we said earlier in the program, more is better.
Yeah.
Well, if I lost 5 pounds because I did this much this week, I did 2 hours of cardio, well, I want to lose another 5 or 10, so I'm going to do 3 hours a week. Or since I brought my bench press up 100 pounds over the last year, working it once a week, well, maybe if I do it twice a week, I'll go up another 100 or 200 or something. But it's just not how your body works.
Right.
So if you're overly enthusiastic, you can actually hinder your progress, almost the same as if you're under enthusiastic and you just don't do enough to get anywhere. I mean, that's what we're saying. If you're enthusiastic and you're motivated and you're working hard, your frequency might be a little too high.
Right. It's like a bell curve kind of.
Yeah. Now, if you're just, you've all seen the people that go to the gym every day of the week, and they're dragging their bag in, their shoulders are slumped over, I'm at the gym again. Geez. They got the trainers, and what do we have to do today? I got to do that. If you're not motivated, you're not going to get in shape either.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got to find a happy medium.
Right. Now, kind of trailing, or not, kind of going into a different area here. Somebody who enjoys maybe tying one on the weekends, maybe a little alcohol, maybe a little bit of rich eating, if you will. What do you think about? Do you think cheat meals, or do you think letting yourself have a weekend or a day to kind of do what you want is beneficial?
Again, it depends on the person's goal in that particular point in time. I mean, for the vast majority of people, yeah, I think that's fine. You just can't let the weekend turn into the week and the week into the month. Sometimes it does you good to get kind of recharge your battery, so to speak, emotionally and physically. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people use that card too often.
Sure.
Oh, I need this. I need to go out to Chili's tonight because I need to. I've been too much chicken the rest of the week. Well, you just were at Long John Silver's yesterday, so I don't know.
It doesn't matter that you just ordered the chicken.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be self-disciplined. You got to be realistic.
Do you think anything like supplement wise is truly going to help you? Because we talked a little bit about sleeping. So like you have your ZMA stacks, your magnesium and your zinc, stacks for sleeping to quote unquote help you recover and release hormones. You have your proteins. You have. And I don't even want to talk about creatines because most people have the science and theories wrong, but just supplementation and manipulation of those types of things.
Just the term itself, the definition of supplement, if you looked it up in the dictionary, would say what? Something to the effect it has to be in addition to something else.
Right.
Well, a supplement is in addition to
your normal
diet.
Right.
Well, see, most people's normal diet is not adequate to begin with. So they're supplementing something that is not adequate anyway. Therefore, they're wasting their money on a supplement. It's not going to make up for bad nutrition, I guess.
Yeah.
And so the reality is, when you want to build muscle, you want to lose body fat, anything physically to your body, you want to change the appearance, the health of it, whatever. Mm. It's food related. It has basically nothing to do with supplementation. I mean, very, very, very little.
Sure, right.
Maybe less than 10%, less than 5%, less than 1%. I don't know. Again, whenever we have percents, I'm always, I don't know. It's, to make a point, it's minimal, right? At best.
Right.
And so once you get your food under control, everything will fall into place.
Sure.
If you're at an elite level of training, maybe, and you're like, okay, I'm doing my food right, my training right, my rest right, you're a professional. I mean, this is something you do for a living. Then supplementation might give you that last little bit to maybe improve on a placing in a contest or burn off that last 1 pound of body fat that, I don't know.
Right.
But it's not going to be enough to... Supplements, for the most part, and I'm going to recommend a couple of them. I'm not saying they're all completely a waste of money.
Sure.
But the overarching answer to your question is yes, they basically are a waste of money because it's a huge industry. I don't know how many billions of dollars of supplements are sold a year on fat loss pills and muscle building powders and whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's all marketing. It's all hype. It's all preying on people's inability to do nutrition correctly. It's wanting a quick fix.
Yeah.
And all humans are like, you see something easy, I'll spend the $100 a month because, just sounds like maybe it'll work.
Yeah.
You're hoping it'll work, right? In the back of your mind, that pill or that whatever is not going to do what it's advertising.
You still got to do the work.
You still buy it.
Yeah. It's. I think we're wired for convenience.
We are.
But
I did want to though say, there are some supplements out there that I think are beneficial and helpful. Protein powder, I think, is one you can spend your money on. Yeah.
Which is, again, a supplement. Like if, and I think, and I'm going to ask you here in a second what your top 5 muscle building tips are. And it could just be a bullet point, but.
Top 5.
I mean, wait. You better start writing them down.
Paper out here.
But the key, I think, and there's a couple I think that go on the list, and that's just getting enough calories. If you're trying to put on a little bit of lean tissue, even if it is to lose some body fat to lose weight, lean tissue is the key. And I think the big one is eating the right amount of food. So, just like you said, protein powder is supplementation. If you miss a meal and you only have protein powder, then that's better than nothing, but that's not a meal, right?
Right.
So you want to use it properly.
Use it properly. That's a good one to spend some money on, and it shouldn't cost you more than $50 to $100 a month on a good protein supplement, depending on how much you're using and all that.
Right.
If you're spending, I tell people, if you're spending more than $100 a month on supplements, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You might as well come in. We got people come in. I just went down to wherever, and I spend $300, $400, $500 a month. Every beginning of the month, I get my paycheck. I go down to supplement XYZ, and I load up on whatever.
That's nuts.
And I'm like, how much?
That's crazy.
So why don't you take the money that you're spending, the $400 you spent at the supplement store, and take it to Dillon's or the grocery store and buy the food that actually will help you get in shape.
Yeah. You buy a deep freeze and buy a bunch of...
And hire a trainer that knows what they're doing with the remainder, because you're still going to have $300 left. Now I'm already on a tangent. I had another avenue I wanted to talk about.
There's a supplement?
Another supplement, though, before we go there, is multivitamin. Okay. The doctor will tell you that. What your doctor basically tells you, maybe an aspirin, a multivitamin, and fish oil.
Yeah.
That's it, and a protein powder. You're done with your supplements for the month.
Yeah.
You just spent $60, maybe. Maybe. You're probably still overspending.
Right.
Okay. I got ready for a lot of contests, pretty high-level shows, NPC shows, tough shows, national qualifying shows, and this and that. And my only supplements I had were protein powder and multivitamin.
Right.
It was all food-related.
Right, food-related. And as a matter of fact, people a lot of times might even eat too clean to put on muscle.
Go ahead. That's what the avenue I wanted to...
I was just going to ask you, what is your favorite carb to eat before bed?
Well, mine is hash browns.
Yes.
But,
That's what I was shooting for.
But again, that's totally dependent on the rest of the day, what you're eating, and a lot of things. But the idea, though, that this is more geared to people that are really trying to put on maybe a bigger amount of muscle than most. Maybe in the term bulking.
Sure.
You heard that term? Okay.
It's so overused.
It's from the 50s or 60s or. It's basically, if you're out there just trying to put on muscle, but you're eating whatever and whenever, and you're gaining a lot of excess body fat, that is doing a lot of negative things. It actually makes it harder for your body to put on muscle. It makes it harder to get in shape if you want to get in shape later. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is, if you can keep your body fat under control, your body will be a lot more sensitive to food, carbohydrates specifically. So like, say, under 10. I know that's kind of extreme. This might be more for competitors, but you can kind of take this and apply it again to about anybody. The logic still follows through.
Right.
Is keep your body fat as low as you can. You're still going to put on muscle. That whole, you can't be on a contest type diet, right? I'm not saying it's totally restrictive, but you shouldn't just be. You can build muscle, most people, at a lower percent body fat than they think, and it keeps your body a lot healthier, I believe.
Yeah. Well, and there are certain processes in your body chemically that have to happen in order for you to put on that lean tissue that you so desire. And if you have deficiencies in a lot of different things, your macronutrients, your minerals, your vitamins, and things like that, you're not going to run properly, and you're not going to have the goal that you want, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Right. If you think about the parts of an engine in a car, and the things, the fluids and the things that make up the components that go in there,
Well, it's basically just trying to stay healthy. I mean, that's what this whole industry is built on.
Yeah.
I mean, at its base, it's how do you stay healthier? I mean, obviously you can't. Everybody's going to die. I mean, you're not. It's not like you're going to extend your life by 1,000 years or something ridiculous. But the reality is, if you're working out and watching what you're eating, you can probably improve your quality of life. Maybe you add some years to it.
Sure.
Maybe you do live to be 80 or 90 or 100 instead of 65. Mm-hmm. But those years will probably be better as far as just maybe less cancer, less wear and tear on your joints, less heart disease. Yeah. What's the point of being 95 but you have no quality of life? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So that's why you do these things in your teens and 20s and 30s and 50s and 60s. Is just maybe get something out of your life later on.
Sure.
So in order to do that, though, you have to do it. It has to be a healthy undertaking. Mm-hmm. And so what's healthy again? Well, what we talked about, you don't have to eat 500 grams of protein a day. Your body has to be healthy to build muscle anyway, at least long term.
Sure.
You can't be all, a negative acidic type environment where your body's really kind of just always inflamed.